Welcome, everybody. Hello, my name is Nicola. I am from the team here at Podia. And today we're going to talk about 6 positive business habits that you can start today and bring with you into the new year. At Podia, we have seen thousands of people build really great businesses just like you. And there are some patterns and trends that we've noticed over the years. So, this session is kind of a combination of all of these things that we've seen that work really well for most businesses. And we're going to focus on things that can help you grow your audience, build your connections with that audience, make more sales, and help keep you focused on the things that really matter in your business. And at Podia, we are all about simplifying the technical stuff and keeping your business super streamlined so you can focus on doing the work that you really love doing. And these habits are going to help you with that. I think most people here are probably small business owners, solopreneurs, or maybe you have a few team members. For that reason, building a sustainable online business is not about doing more and doing everything. It's actually about doing the right things consistently. And the 6 things that we regularly see people do and have a lot of success are sending out a regular email newsletter, publishing evergreen content, and we'll talk about what that means and how you can decide what to publish, connecting with your audience on a regular basis so your audience feels like they know you, you know them, asking for feedback on your products and the things that you're making, collaborating with similar brands because you can't do it all. And if someone has a very similar brand to you, you might be able to promote each other and get more eyes on each other's work, and keeping a list of things that you are not going to do because we can't do it all. This is one of my favorite ones because it can be so tempting to just try to do everything, and being able to scale back and say, actually, this doesn't work for my business can be really powerful and give you a lot of time back. The very first thing we are going to talk about, this is a go-to classic Podia tip. We're all about sending regular email newsletters here because your email newsletter is how you stay in touch with your audience. And it's in a place where when you reach out to someone in their inbox, they're not getting distracted by a bunch of ads, they're not getting distracted by competitors or other things in their feed the way they would on social media or on other channels. It is just you and them, and you can share your message with them. And when you have a regular newsletter, your audience will get used to hearing from you, learning from you, and they will get to see all the value you can provide to them. So this is great if you have people who haven't bought yet, you can let them know about your products. If you have people who you have bought from you and you have other products for them, then that's also great. You can let them know about what other offers you have in your newsletter. So I've got a little list here of things that you can share in your email newsletter. You can send blog posts or videos that you've made. You can share tips or helpful insights for your niche. Other articles that you've enjoyed, maybe a newspaper article that you read or something another creator wrote, go ahead and feature it. Let your audience know if you think they'll like it. You can also let your audience know about new products you're working on, new offers you're thinking about. You can share client testimonials and case studies. If you're offering any sales or discounts, great place to let people know about that. You can share product updates, and you can ask for feedback, which we will talk more about in just a few minutes. So the important thing with this is setting a realistic schedule for you. We always encourage people to try for one email newsletter per week. And actually, we ran a few months ago, we ran a session just like this about how to send a consistent email newsletter without burning out. And Robert just dropped the link to that in the chat. And that was a great session with Podia Pro Brittany Hardy about how to actually do this consistently without burning out. So we encourage once a week. If that's just not possible for your business, once every 2 weeks is great, or once a month. But the important thing is picking a cadence and sticking with it so that your audience is hearing from you regularly. You are there in their inbox. They feel like they know you and they can trust your advice, your products, things like that. So a few things you can do to stick to this consistently is creating a newsletter template in your Podia account. You can make one beautiful email and just go in and change out the text every week when you go to send. This makes it so much faster to send your newsletter because you're not having to build the whole thing from scratch. You can also batch create your content and schedule it out into the future. We have a scheduling tool built into the email tool. So if you're feeling really inspired one day, let's say you have an hour of free time and you're really ready to go on your newsletter, you could write 4 newsletters in one sitting, put them all in your template and schedule them. And now you've got your month of content, of email content ready to go. While it can sound intimidating to have a weekly email newsletter as one of your habits for 2026, I want you to think about it this way. If you take one day a month and sit down and write 4 newsletters and schedule them out for that month, you are taking 12 days out of the year to focus on your newsletter. Just 12 days. Like, that's not that many days. That's totally doable. And in those 12 days, you are building a super consistent habit. You're improving those newsletter skills, and your customers are hearing from you every single week so that you are always top of mind when they're looking for the things that you teach. So I want to show 2 examples here. We have one, this is from Brittany Hardy from Empty Desk Solutions. This is a great example of the template, the email template. You've got this big header image right here at the top. This is just a graphic that you can put into your newsletter. And then whenever you want to make a new newsletter, you can change out this body text right here. Super quick, super easy, and you can press go every single week. A different strategy here is from Rob Williams from Folio, and he has one product he mainly promotes, which is a membership where people get access to web design projects and leads. This newsletter goes out with a little sneak preview of what is happening in his membership community that week. So anyone who's not a member, if this piques their interest, it's very easy for them to click and join. This is great if you have a community or a membership, including a little, maybe a snippet of a post that's gotten really popular, can be a great way to just get people's curiosity so that they want to check it out and learn more. And again, this is a very simple email template. I think these are both really great examples. Okay, how do you do this in Podia? I'm going to click into the Podia dashboard. In the Podia dashboard, we are going to go into our email tab, and your newsletters are going to be sent out as broadcasts. Podia also has campaigns. These are automated, and we're going to look into this a little later, but we're going to start with broadcasts right here. I'll click New Broadcast, and I can call this newsletter. We'll just call this newsletter 1. I'll say, whoops. Hi, and your subject will be much better. Off the bat, you've got a few options here. You can start from a blank email. You can use a previous email you have sent. These are all stored. So if you love a design you already made, you can just click to apply those same style settings, or you can choose one of Podia's pre-made templates. All of these you can use exactly as is, or you can customize the colors. I'm going to grab this one. And I really like this layout, like very simple, very clean, but I'm going to do a slightly less yellow color. I'm going to tone it down a little bit. There we go. And there we go. So now I have a softer yellow on the background. I can also go in and customize who exactly this newsletter is going to go to. By default, my newsletter is going to go to everybody. That's great. But sometimes you might want to send a newsletter just to your affiliates or just to people who have certain products. Maybe you only want to email people who have already spent a certain amount of money with your business. You have all these options built in. You do not have to set these up. These are already set up for you in your Podia account, and your account will keep track of all this data for you. So that's an option as well. So then you can just go through here and copy, paste, type your content for your newsletter. You can click send and send it right away, or you can schedule this out to a later date like we talked about. So if I have a lot of energy today and I want to write 3 newsletters, I can schedule them out over the next few weeks, and then I will be all done with my newsletter for the month. I'll click finish later. And I want to show one other little thing that you can do. Again, if you're trying to save time and just get that newsletter out, you can click this little button right here and click duplicate. And now you've got an exact copy of the first email, and it's going to pull in all the same styling that you have, all the text, everything. This is that light yellow color we set up together. So those are some options you've got to make this habit really easy to implement. So all you're doing is coming up every week with the topics for the newsletter. And even if you just do one of these per week, like you don't have to do all of these in each newsletter. You can do one blog post this week. Next week, you can share a tip. The next week, you can share a new product. The next week, you can share a testimonial. This is 8 ideas here. So that is 2 months worth. And then you could start over again. So it can be really straightforward. The important thing is that your audience is hearing from you and they're getting that connection point. Okay, next habit, number 2. Every month, we're going to aim to publish one piece of evergreen content. And that means that more evergreen content is content that is kind of core to your business that you can share today, you can share tomorrow, you can share a year from now. It will always be relevant to your target audience. Some great examples of this are like guides, tutorials, how-tos, things that are really helpful for people who are at the very beginning of their journey with your topic. If you are a music teacher, how to read sheet music, that is an article. If you had that on your site, you could share that every day for the next 5 years. It's not going to change very much. It's going to be the same instructions. The opposite of evergreen content would be maybe spring fashion trends for 2026. That's a great article if you have say you have a fashion business. That's awesome. But we're going to focus this habit on creating that evergreen content that you can use for months and years to come because you're just going to get a lot more value for your time out of it. It takes a long time to put together a really great video or a great a blog post. So we want to make sure that you are getting the most value for your time. We are going to look at some examples of that. These are 2 creators who have blogs on Podia. We have Shayna Showers from Simply by Shayna. She has got simple steps to streamline your marketing. We have weekly marketing frameworks and 5 tech tools to simplify your health coaching business. Those are all articles or information that you can share with your audience today and in the future. There's not a time limit on these. We also have Marie Drovan, who has a blog about technical setup, how to build a website, how to build a course. And she's got guides here about building in Podia, creating courses out of your expertise, things that will last for a long time. You might have to do little updates here and there, but you really want to think about content that you can use again and again that will be helpful for your customers kind of toward the beginning of their journey. And here is why. Because when you have content that people can find long into the future, you have an opportunity for that content to get discovered in search engines, potentially for years. And I'm showing this example. This is a Podia business called Tiny Shiny Home. Jonathan and Ashley have an off-grid homestead. It's very amazing. You should definitely check out their YouTube channel. And they have some digital products as well. So they did a big Airstream renovation. And they have this free resource right here that is an Airstream renovation checklist guide. This is a download. Someone can download this, get on their email list, and they might want to pay for this Airstream renovation cost calculator in the future. So this is a paid product. But what they did that's really smart is they published a piece of evergreen content, so something that they can have on their site for years to come. They have this article called the Vintage Airstream Renovation Checklist and Guide. So you can see that article right down there. And this article links to this free checklist. So it's someone who is reading the article can click it here, download the checklist, and then learn more about the paid product. And when someone searches the phrase Airstream renovation checklist, theirs comes up right at the top. They are the number one source in this AI overview, and they're the number one search result. And this article was published in 2021. So that means that anytime since 2021 to now, assuming this post is ranked the way it does right now, anyone who's looking for an Airstream renovation checklist could have potentially found this freebie and all the paid products that go along with it. Now, that means they did not have to go out and pitch themselves over and over again. They did not have to go hunting down customers. The customers came to them because they were looking for the exact thing that the product that they had as an offer. This is why I really encourage that kind of longevity piece that you can use that ties into your product, and then you get a lot more value for your time. So let's set this up in Podia. We are going to use the blogging feature right here. And I want to clarify that you don't have to do this through a blog. If you are not interested in blogging, you can also do this with evergreen YouTube videos, or maybe you're making lead magnets or free products. But I do think a blog is a really great way just to get just to get more pages on your site out there and potentially ranking in search engines. We're going to look at some blog posts first. This is a blog post that I have in draft about what is the fastest way to learn Portuguese, a realistic guide for beginners. This is something I'm working on now, learning Portuguese. So I need this article. I'm going to click edit. If I were a language teacher teaching Portuguese, this would be a great piece of content to have on my site because I can share this with beginners. I can share this with my email list. I can talk about it on socials. And there's a chance someone searching the phrase fastest way to learn Portuguese would find this blog post organically when they Googled that phrase. And I did a few things in this article that I want to call out so that you can replicate this when you're making your monthly evergreen content. I have this phrase, fastest way to learn Portuguese. That's kind of what I'm targeting here. I have used this phrase and variations of this phrase throughout the title, the introduction of the article, fastest way to learn Portuguese. I used a variation of this phrase here, how to learn Portuguese fast, in a H2 heading. I used it over here in the post URL, in the details, what's the fastest way to learn Portuguese, and in the SEO description. And I did this because I am trying to tell search engines that this article is about the fastest way to learn Portuguese. And I'm going to do it in a lot of different ways because that makes it very clear that this is what we're talking about and this article should rank for that phrase. Number three. So, one way that will help you determine what evergreen content you should be making that will be most helpful for your audience is to spend 30 minutes a week talking to your audience. This maybe sounds a little oversimplified, and you might already be doing like so much more than this, and that's amazing. But I do think it is really helpful to set a timer and do a dedicated 30-minute just deep research, deep conversation sprint with your customers. On social media, this might mean responding to all your DMs, sending really thoughtful replies, replying to comments, or commenting on similar brands and kind of engaging with other people. Over email, this could mean replying to all those messages that have been building up in the inbox, reaching out to people who are in your programs to offer them support. And in your products, you can reply to any comments or questions people have left on course lessons, for example. If you have a community, going through and making sure you've replied to everything you need to there. It's really just a chance to check in and put your ear to the ground a bit on what are people saying, what are they talking about, and making yourself visible in your brand as well. So people know, hey, that's a real person, and I want to spend time with them. I want to invest with them. Now, if you do not have an audience yet, or if you start doing this and it's just a really quiet week, you can also use this 30 minutes to do some research on what questions your target audience is asking. What are people searching for? And if you're not 100% sure where to start with this, find a person who has a business similar to yours. Look through their comments and their questions that they're getting, like on their YouTube videos or their social posts, to start to see what those audience members are wondering about. This can be a great way to just start getting an idea of what people are asking. Okay, now we're going to show you in Podia. We're going back over into Podia. And for this one, I want to show you two cool features we have. The first is the chat feature. So every Podia account comes with this built in. I'm going to show you an example on Maria's site. This is Maria Ebenezer. She is an event staffing entrepreneur, and she also does some web design and helps people build out products. This little icon down at the bottom, right now it shows a chat bubble with Z's on it. But if you click into this, it's going to pull up this chat widget right here. This allows me to message Maria if I have a question about her products or services. If she's online, this will show up as green. If she's away, it'll show up like this. This is something you can add to your Podia site as well. And everyone has this. It's included in Podia, so you can turn this on or off if you'd like to have it. And then I'll show you what it looks like from the entrepreneur's point of view. This is the chat feature in Podia, how it looks behind the scenes. And I'm clicking in. This is an example of a chat. And here's how it'll look for you as the entrepreneur. Someone can write in and then they will be prompted to put in their email. So if you reply and they're offline, they'll get it in their email and you can have a conversation with them one on one. You can also reach out to people in your audience. You can click new chat and send a message to any one of your customers. So it's a great way to just make sure that you are in contact with your audience. So during that 30 minutes, you can hop in, check this chat tab, and check this inbox tab. Now, this inbox tab is everything in your Podia account other than the chats in one spot. Any person who's made a comment on a blog post or a comment in your community or made a post or asked a question in a course lesson or made a discussion thread, you can come see all of those in one place and reply to them. So right here, if I click into this one, I'm getting stuck on this project. Does anyone have advice? Great question. Whoa, can't type. I could post my answer here and I could just go through really quickly and make sure that I'm on top of all my communications within my business. So that's another great way to just make sure you're staying in touch with everyone regularly, spending that time each week. Habit four also ties in with that, where we're going to ask for feedback, kind of specifically ask for feedback about something in our business. We're going to aim to do this once per quarter. So when the seasons change, that's a great time to just do a check in where you're a little more intentional than reading comments. This can really help you plan your future products and content and any updates you're trying to make in your business. What's confusing about this course? What would take this product to a 11 out of 10? What's missing in this lead magnet? So you're picking one aspect of your business and you're getting specific feedback about that thing. I recommend keeping it easy to answer in one message and also including a line of why you're asking and how it will help your business. I've got two examples to show you of this in Podia in just a minute, so you can like even screenshot if you want to use that wording when you do this yourself. And you can even offer light incentives to participate. If you want to let someone be a beta tester, if they offer to give feedback, or maybe you include a small bonus, you give them an extra product or a discount or a coupon code in exchange for their participation. One thing you do want to do here, though, is rotate who you are asking. A few reasons for that. You don't want to be asking the exact same person over and over and over again for feedback just because that might be annoying for them, but also because you want different perspectives. This one person who's giving you feedback might have a strong opinion one way or the other, but you kind of want to get a better sense of what everyone in your business is thinking. There are a few different ways you can ask. You can send out a note through your email newsletter. That can be one of your weeks of email newsletters, is asking people to share their feedback on something you're working on. You can set it up as an automated campaign. So that means it runs for you in the background, and I'll show you how to set that up. You could do a survey. Typeform is a great tool for that. SurveyMonkey. I think you can do Google surveys as well. So that's another great way to get feedback and ask survey questions. You can also just DM someone directly. If you have a good relationship with them, maybe they've bought some products from you, you can send them a message and say, hey, I'd love to talk for 10 minutes about what you think about this course. That can be a really valuable source of information as well. You can also post in your community or do something more casual, like a poll in your Instagram stories. There's a poll feature. You can just enable it on a story and ask a question and get some feedback that way. And this gives you a very good variety of people. So your social media followers might be different from your newsletter followers, who might be different from someone in your community. So this is giving you a good sample of everybody. And I want to show you a cool example of this. This is Jill and Jeffrey from the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show. They have a YouTube channel where they make whole food plant-based recipes, very great recipes. And if you are a member of their membership community, you get to vote each month on what recipes they make. So that's a really cool way to engage your audience, but also get super valuable feedback. Because if you're seeing that your audience is always asking for XYZ type of recipe, I'm going to prioritize that moving forward. So I love that way of just keeping your audience involved and making sure you're making things that your audience actually wants. In Podia, we got a few different ways you can do this. The first option is in the community. If you have a Podia community set up, you can make a post just in your general kind of announcement area of your community. And here is an example of what that copy could be. I have a title, Help Shape What We Build Next, 1 minute. I usually like to include how long it will take someone to do the thing I'm asking. That way they can decide if they have time to do it. Hey everyone, I'm planning what to work on next, and I want to make sure I'm focusing on the right things. If there's one thing that feels confusing, frustrating, or harder than it should be in your business right now, what is it? It could be something you're stuck on, something you've tried and it didn't work, something you wish you had clearer guidance on. You don't need to write a lot, one sentence is perfect. I'll read every reply and look for patterns to guide what I build next. As a thank you, I'll invite a few people who respond to test or preview what comes out of this. This is a great general template you can use to figure out what type of product you should be making. If you've already got an audience who likes who likes what you're teaching, this can help you identify what specific thing they would like to see from you. And then you'll get the comments right here and you can respond and see if there's any patterns or trends in that. Another way you can do this is through an email automation. Your broadcasts are where you'll send your newsletters. You can also use email to build automated campaigns. Automated campaigns run whenever someone takes an action with your business. If someone, for example, joins your email list, 1 day later, you can send them an email that welcomes them. The next day, you can send them an email that tells them about more products, things like that. I've got a email campaign here. It's in draft mode. To make this campaign, you'll just click New Campaign. I'm going to edit this one because I already started it. I'm going to call this my 30-day feedback request. And I am going to set this so that whenever someone gains access to a product, and I'll say this painting course. So whenever someone gains access to my painting course, I want this email to send 30 days after that happens. I can customize this. I could say 90 days, for example. 90 days after they sign up for my painting course, this email will automatically be sent to them. And this says, hey, you've had a month with the course. I'm planning updates and improvements so it can be more helpful moving forward. I'd love your perspective. And this is a different way of asking, if there's one thing that would take this course from good to excellent. What would it be? A short reply is perfect. You let them know they can reply directly to the email, and then you've got that information. And this is cool because you can set this up once, and then you might be getting responses to this anytime in the future because whenever someone signs up for your course, this will send automatically after the amount of days you've designated. So you don't have to go in and update this unless you want to change the question. So that's a way to kind of put this on the back burner so that you're not having to do it so actively if you don't have a ton of time. All right, number 5, we're moving along. This is another really cool way to get more eyes on your work and potentially reach some totally different audiences. And this is to collaborate with another creator. I'm going to challenge you to do this once per quarter. It's a little trickier because there is someone else involved. You have to find someone who your schedules match up and it works out, but aim to do this once per quarter because that is a great way to get some new eyes on your work and your products. When you are looking for people to collaborate with, I recommend starting on social media. You can look at Facebook groups for your niche, bloggers in your niche, and you can also look in the Podia creator community for people who have a similar audience, but not the exact same product. So I would not recommend doing this if you have almost identical products to someone. But if you have the same audience, then this is fine because you're just promoting each other's work to the same group of people. You can co-host webinars. You can maybe create a lead magnet and they create a lead magnet and you let your audience know about each other's free lead magnet. You can do social media shout outs or newsletter shout outs. This is an opportunity for you to get promoted by someone else and promote someone else at the same time, which is a win-win for everyone because you get potentially new followers and your followers get to learn about another great brand. Another option here is you can open up your affiliate program. Podia has affiliates built in. An affiliate program allows you to give a commission to anyone who sends someone to a course or a session that you're running. For example, if you have a webinar and you're doing a collab webinar with someone, you can let them be an affiliate, which means they will get a commission for everyone they bring to the session. And then you'll both get to share that audience. Some examples of this in real life of how you can collaborate with other creators. Leslie and Matt run a brand called Elemental. This is a life coaching business. And one of the things they do is these live events with collaborators. So this one is a collaborator with Gerard Beaubrun. And this collaborator is hosting a session for Elemental's audience. And they have an affiliate program set up. So the people who are speaking at their events are able to also be affiliates for that event. That gives an extra incentive for them to promote it to their audience and bring new visitors to the event. Another friend of mine is building a career coaching membership, and she has these experts in the field coming in to do sessions in the membership. And each of those experts is promoting the program because they're saying, hey, I'm going to be here speaking. You can come see me speak if you join this program. So really leaning on your community because you're giving them a chance to access your audience, and then they're bringing more people to your audience. So everyone wins. Another great example of this is Tamkara Adun from Oduni Faye. We did a creator story with Tamkara a few years back. She's a really cool business about African history and languages and cultural heritage. And she has grown a very substantial Instagram account. She's got 60,000 followers the last time I checked. And what she has done when we did our interview a while back, she explained that a lot of this growth in the early days was she would find someone whose work she admired and she would share it on her Instagram account. She would repost them and explain why she really liked their work. And often they would notice that and reciprocate. And if not, it's still a great way to build that connection and say, hey, look, I love what you're doing, and start meeting more people in the same space as you. So hers was a very grassroots way to just share people whose work she liked, and often they would share her work in return. Bonus round, you can actually connect habit number 5 with habit number 1. You can have collaboration as a regular part of your newsletter. If you choose to do this, you can include a section of your newsletter every week or maybe once a month where you feature other content, other brands, other products that you think your audience would like. Then, after you do that, you can reach out to those brands and those people and those products and let them know they've been featured. This is a great way to open up a conversation. And I mean, don't go into this expecting reciprocation. There's no guarantees, but at least you're starting out with a gesture of goodwill to open the door to a conversation with a creator you could probably work with in the future. So the last one is habit number 6. This is probably my favorite habit. And this is your ongoing task of keeping a not doing list. This is a list of things that you are choosing not to do in your business. And it's very hard to do this because there's so much coming at us as creators saying, you need to be on this platform, you need to be doing this, don't you have this kind of funnel? And it can be very overwhelming. And it feels like you have to do everything in order to be successful. And you don't. And I have some examples that prove that. Sometimes the simplest businesses are the ones that work the best and can be the most profitable. Run an audit of your business and your time today. Look at what you have in your business that might be overcomplicated or might be just not working very well. Is there a product that has had no sales that maybe you don't need to be promoting anymore? Is there a platform that you just really don't like using, or it feels kind of like it's lackluster to you? What things can you cut? Because the more that you can scale back, the more time you have for the things that actually are working. Some examples here. Maybe you choose not to use a shiny new social media platform. Maybe you choose not to have a very complicated offer lineup. Maybe you choose not to check your stats on if you are a big stat checker. This can be a hard one. Maybe you say just once a week I'm going to check my stats. Or maybe you say you're not going to add any new tools to your technology stack. This one's very hard for me on the productivity space because I love all the new productivity tools. Anything I can color code and get a checklist and like a calendar, I want to try it. And I'm convinced that I will be the most productive person in the whole world if I just use this new tool. Never is the case. So I have to have a hard rule of no new tools no new productivity tools. And going ahead and setting those boundaries for yourself can mean you save your time and your energy for the things that really work. An example of this that I want to share is Rob Williams from Folio, who we saw earlier in the presentation, recently posted in the Podia community about how he simplified his business and how much better his business works now that it's more simple. He has one main product. It's a membership subscription. He has two campaigns. One campaign for aspiring customers, for leads who might become a customer, and one campaign for people who are already customers. So there you've got two groups of people, two campaigns. He has 6 website pages. One page promoting the offer, I believe a page of testimonials, a page about the affiliate program. Very, very simple website layout, and it's all pointing people back to this one main product. And as a result, this is a 5-figure a month business because it is a subscription. It's a recurring revenue or recurring income business. And he can spend all his time on making this the absolute best product he can because it's the only thing he has to focus on. Having a very complex setup out the gate doesn't always mean more money. Could be actually that scaling things back and making it simpler is more profitable. And I also have an example of this from my own experience because before I was a blogger, and when you are a blogger, you can monetize your blog a few different ways. You can allow ads on your blog. So, for example, if you've ever gone to a website and there's a million ads popping up everywhere, that's because that person who owns the website is getting paid for those ads. You can do sponsorships or brand partnerships where you work with a brand and they pay you and you promote their brand. You can promote affiliate products, or you can sell your own digital products. And I tried all of these all at the same time, and it was a lot of work and it was very stressful. And I did not like the way my website looked with ads, and I didn't make very much money from them. And the sponsorships and brand partnerships, when I tried that, the amount of work to pitch and get the deal and then do all the deliverables also wasn't worth it. So I decided not to do those things. And what that did was it let me go all in on the other 2 ways of monetizing, which are affiliate products and selling digital products. And because I had cut half of the potential ways to make money off the list, I could put all my time into the 2 that worked better for me. Yes, I was losing out on the ad revenue. Yes, losing out on sponsorship revenue. But I could spend more time making digital products and promoting affiliates, and that ended up being more profitable. So sometimes you can just cut out the things that aren't working. And even if it feels scary to say no to a revenue stream, you might make the other ones that you're prioritizing more effective. Okay, so now your homework. Here is the schedule we're going to be following for 2026 to build these really positive habits in our business. Every week, you are going to send an email newsletter. That's the goal. Every week, you are going to spend 30 minutes engaging with your audience, and that can be on social and email, in your products, in your community, wherever it makes sense for you in your business. But you're doing it intentionally, like we're setting a timer. Then every month, we are doing one new piece of evergreen content. This is a piece of content you would be proud to share a year from now, because after a year of doing this, you will have 12 awesome pieces of evergreen content. And when you start out next year, you've got not only are those pieces of content potentially being discovered by new customers, you can also reshare them and repurpose them in your future newsletters. You're building up this full library of resources for your people. Every quarter, you are reaching out to your audience for feedback and collaborating with other businesses. And then ongoing, you're going to constantly be kind of just aware that you don't have to do everything. And there might be things that you need to cut from that to-do list so you have more time to spend on the things that you enjoy that really move the needle for you. Thank you all for sticking around to the very end. Thank you so much for joining today. This has been so much fun. Talk to you soon.